Hello everybody. Welcome to Thrifty Thursday. It's Thursday. You know what that means. Let's do a little upcycle today. So got some painting to do, so let's get to it. Paint while I talk. The primary focus of our Thrifty Thursday is this fun little like MDF style faux wood sign. What I thought was really cool about it is the like wood grain here, and it's that like really deep, like what I like to call like a barn red. And I think I bought this like back around, I don't know, probably towards the end of January or so, with the thoughts of maybe doing something for like Valentine's Day with it. But as you can see, that did not happen. So I thought this red actually would be really cool for like a, like an Americana style, like a farmhousey Americana. So my thought is, as long as I can do this fairly clean, like we won't actually really have to do much of anything to that background. I want to keep it pretty much the way it is. So I just took that price tag off of there from the local thrift shop. I got this sign for $1. Can't beat that. And it actually came with like its original tag. So this was originally from the Hobby Lobby, and it was $5.99 regular. So for $1, we're doing all right. I am going to take some painter's tape and go along the edge here to protect that red background because I want to keep it red. But I want to change out the front of this, and I'm going to paint it with a, I think it's called ivory, an off-white kind of, just to keep in that like, you know, not necessarily the bright traditional sense of Americana, but more like the, you know, like the farmhousey style. So I'm using that in a chalk paint. Chalk paint seems to cover gives you pretty decent coverage too, so I like to use it when I can. Don't get me wrong, I love my acrylics too, but for something like this where we're gonna have to cover up a really dark surface, I like the chalk paint. It should give us good coverage. All right, so we're just masking off this with our tape here. That way I don't make a mess on my background, because I did not paint this, so I don't know if I would have a color to match it very well. I mean, we could paint it. I have plenty of reds, but I'm going to try not to. All right, so let's get to it. All right, and I'm going to use one of these, like, what are they called? Pouncers that you get from the dollar store. I don't paint with them very often, but I've seen a lot of people do it, and it seems like it works really well. So I am going to try it. And you just kind of, I mean, obviously we're going to have to do probably a couple coats of this, which is what I want to start with this. But let's get our base coat down, get it dried, and then we can come in with another one. I don't know if I should go with the pounce method. I think right now I'm going to go with more like the swirl, because I don't want a ton of texture in it, but I want it to be covered. So that's what we're doing. And we'll see what happens. But anyway, as you jump on, be sure to say hello. Thank you ever so much for watching. My name is April. You're in my craft room. This is Chalking Up the Walls, where we like to take a variety of different things and make new things with them. I really have been enjoying these Thrifty Thursdays, where I get to find things at local thrift shops or just thrift shops in general and kind of make them my own. It helps keep the cost of my crafting down, don't get me wrong. And it's just kind of fun to just reimagine things. Take something and turn it into something else. I'm liking that. Plus, it's an affordable option for crafting, which is always good, especially as much crafting as I do. It's nice to keep it affordable. But anyway, all right, I feel like we've got a fairly decent, even first coat. Getting fairly good coverage, but, you know, we're not there yet. But anyway, we've got a pretty good base coat, right? We're getting there. So let's go ahead and dry this so we can get another coat on. Another reason that I really like working with the chalk paint is that it dries really fast. But when you're layering paint like this, you need to make sure each layer is dry before you move on, or you're just gonna be like moving the paint around. So I had to stir this up a little bit. So I'm just gonna take what was on my stick there and go in with another coat. And let's hope we can get it mostly covered. Being that this is a sponge, it soaks it up, so try to get that paint out of your sponge because you don't want to waste it being in, you know, just soaked up in there. But anyway, keep going, keep going. Trying to get it fairly smooth and even. So we're just gonna go over it. I can see that it's starting to cover pretty nicely. We're gonna have to do at least one more coat though, because I can still see some of the streaks. And I mean, the streaks aren't terrible, but I wanna get most of it covered. All right, and this is the part where I need to stop and dry it because I'm just smearing the paint around. All right, and now we dry. One more quick little dry. One more cute little cover, and I think we'll probably be good. If you don't have a heat tool, obviously just let it sit, walk away, move on to something else, and eventually it'll dry on its own, and you'll be good to go. All right, I'm trying to get what's in this lid here. That's not quite dry. I can see it's still shiny. You can tell when it's dry, it looks like very matte. When it's still wet, it's got kind of a sheen to it. So, all right, make sure it's not hot. And let's do another layer. One more layer. Chalk paint does cover really well, though. If we were doing this with acrylic, it would take a lot of layers. But I'm hoping just 3 will get us to what we want here. All right, we got nice, good consistency in our paint here. And we're almost there. All right, so the other item that I'm going to use didn't come from the thrift store, but it's being upcycled or redone, reimagined from my craft room. I think it was not this past Christmas, but 2 Christmas seasons ago. Target had these really cute chunky stars, and they were in a 3-pack in their like little, what's it called, bullseye section or something like that, like when you first walk into the store where they have like just all kinds of random stuff. And so it was a 3-pack with these stars, and one's white, one is a like really light stain style of wood, like a natural but really light natural wood, and then the other one was a lot darker. So while I was trying to figure out what I was gonna like do with this, I was looking around and I found these stars. And I actually have, so see, this is one of them. I think this is the darker stain kind of color. Paint all over me. But I found one, excuse me, sorry. I found one that I had already painted blue. I must have had a thought to use this in some sort of like Americana 4th of July style last year, so I painted it blue, but I never made whatever it was I was thinking about making. So we're going to use it today. I need to touch it up just a little bit. So with that being said, I'm going to scoot that over. And I desperately need to clean up my hands. I got a mess. Just take a little bit of water and get some of this paint off me. All right. It wouldn't be my craft room if we didn't get paint on us somewhere somehow. But anyway, so like I said, this is mostly done, but I don't know if it's just sitting on my desk or whatnot for, you know, probably almost a year. It just got banged around a little bit, so it's got a couple little scratch marks on the top that I just want to cover real quick. And I'm hoping this is the same blue. It is. So this is an acrylic by Americana, which is definitely like my favorite brand that I like to use on my crafts for acrylics. And the color is True Blue. There was a chunk there. But anyway, we're just kind of like freshening up the paint here, because after a year or so, it got a little scratched. But easy enough. You just touch it up, and that's simple. It's good to go. All right, so we're going to set that there. Let's check this out. That actually looks really good. I'm going to run my finger around the edge. And I probably knock off those crusties. Should have sanded it a tad. Maybe we'll do that. Now let's get it dry. Completely dry. So I got this really cool fabric that I thought about trying to use, but I have never like Mod Podged with fabric, but I found this really cool fabric from Goodwill that's got a ton of different like Americana style things. So I need to sit down and come up with something to do with that. So maybe we'll do something fun with that next week. All right. This looks pretty good, pretty good. It's not super smooth, but that's okay. I think it's going to be all right as I put more paint down. And I think I want to add just a little bit of water. Thin this out just a bit. Not a lot, though, and that may have been way too much. Because I don't want it running down the edge. That might be way too much. Let's wipe some of this off onto a paper towel. So I've got a ton here. Okay, goodbye. And I'm hoping that that will kind of help smooth it out. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so one last coat. And honestly, we don't even really have to fart too much with, or fuss too much with the center, because the star is going in here. But every time I say that, and I don't really focus on the center, whenever I go to put my piece in there, I'm like, oh, I missed a spot. But that's okay. All right, so I was just running my finger along the edge, because I did get some of that paint on the side, and I'm really, really hoping that it didn't get on the red, because I really don't want to paint the red. I will if I have to, but I really don't want to. So, be good, paint. Be nice. All right, nice and smooth lines, though. That's what we're looking for. That water made a huge difference. Okay, and we are covered. All right, I'm just going to set that over there just in case we need it for something, but I don't think we will. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape here. I am going to run my finger along the edges. And I wonder why I get paint all over me. Because I touch it. But that's right. Okay, for real though, we're going to need a wipe. Because I've got it on pretty much every single finger now. That's all right. Anybody doing anything fun on their Thursday? not too much going on here. I've been battling some like really terrible foot pain. Not to bore you with my ails, but long story short, I don't know. I know I didn't injure myself. So we took that off the table, but I did talk to a healthcare professional who basically told me that I have like tendonitis kind of a thing, because it's right where like my heel hits my middle of my foot. So combination of me getting older and me wearing flip-flops pretty much like 90% of my life, and I know, I need to get better shoes, and I need to wear them. So that's been fun. I have been messing around with that all week long. So it's kind of limited a little bit of my mobility, but it's okay. All right, this looks good. This looks good. It almost looks like it's got a little bit of that wood grain kind of showing through. It's not the wood grain. It is brush strokes, which we could have gotten rid of if we would have went like the pounce method or something like that. But I'm kind of digging it. I'm okay with it. All right, we'll make sure you get this good and dry before we peel our tape up. Good and dry. You can't see any of the black through it, but you can definitely see the texture, which makes it almost look like crackled wood, which I really like. Okay, so let's, fingers crossed, let's peel up this tape and hope that our paint did not seep through so we don't have to paint that red. Okay, there's that. There's that. Awesome. All right, get that all curled up, so we're just gonna have to get rid of that. This one looks really good. And one last piece. Get that corner and peeled. Awesome, the tape did its job perfectly. All right, and here we are. I don't know, can you guys see the grain that kind of like showed up in here? A little bit. You can kind of see that. But anyway, now we have our blank slate, which I really like. And I think I want to leave it this direction. I should actually heat this up and get this little tag off the back. So it looks like at some point in time there was a like a backer or something to like stand it up with, because there is like little holes that look like they've been kind of sanded over. But that's okay. We could put a little sawtooth hanger on it if we want to hang it, or chances are it's just gonna like be like a little leaner, a little shelf leaner. Okay, got all of that off. Sticker off. All right, cool. And now, yeah, we're good. All right, so let's clean up this. Give that blue paint just a tad bit longer to dry, and we'll glue it on here and see where we're at. Okay, I did not need that. I don't think I'm gonna need this, but I do want you. There's our blue star. And the thought is that we're just gonna put it in here. It looks like so bright though. With our other colors being so muted, I wonder if we should, I don't want to sand because I don't want that white to come through. I think I might take a little bit of my distress ink here and just kind of dirty it up a little bit. I think that's what I want to do. Okay. So let's open our distressed ink use our little finger dauber, get some of this brown on here, and just kind of dinge up this blue so it's not quite so bright. Let's just start on the edges. Oh, that's a lot, but I like it. It's almost making it look kind of like rusty. And if we get too much, we can always take some of it off. But I'm liking this. All right, scoot this over. Let's just set this down. All right, we're just going along the edge for now. It's almost giving like gold kind of vibes, which is kind of cool. This brown coming off of this blue really is almost making it look like we gold foiled it or whatever. That's kind of not what I was expecting, but I like it. All right, let's see if we can get in these little corners of our star. I like that. Maybe a little too much down there. Like I said, if you get too much, you just kind of wipe it off and then go back over it. All right, perfect. Ooh, I like that. Let's see. It almost gives it like kind of a gold look. That looks so much better. Yes, that's good. But and now that I just did the edges and it does kind of look like that, I don't really want to go across the top. I think that did its job. All right, so let's set that there, and we are pretty much good to go. We're just gonna glue it down. I found these adorable. Being that this piece of wood is pretty thick. Actually, let's get this out so just in case. I found this these tiny little E6000 tubes, which are just fabulous, in my opinion, because my glue, I use the wood glue a lot. You guys have seen that. But this E6000 I don't use very often, so it will kind of dry. But when you're doing something that is more like heavy duty, like this piece of wood is heavy, you're going to need a much stronger glue. So we are doing that. All right, and here, let's see if we can get this somewhat in the center. And then we just need to kind of press and hold. Doing my best to press it without sticking my hand in the brown. If I smudge it though, I can always put some more on there. Okay, let's cap this up. But yeah, like I was saying, I found these adorable little minis. I think it came in like a 5-pack or something like that. So that's perfect. Being that it's not some glue that I use very often. I have a mess. I just have a mess. All right, but all in all, this project is good to go. I'm going to try to pick it up here for you in just a second so you can see it a little better, although you've got a pretty decent view. But it's going to have to sit here for a while so that glue completely hardens up, dries, whatever you call it, sets up before you go holding it up for long. But anyway, all right, that is that, friends. All right, check it out. I think those colors turned out really good. I love that brown edging that we did. Like I said, to me, it's almost giving kind of like a gold fleck, you know? It's been, I cannot come up with the word. It's been, I don't know, little gold around it. But we know it's not gold. We know it's brown. But the blue and brown combination really, just going over it again. I think I touched a couple spots while I was gluing it down, but that's okay. Easy enough to fix. Perfect. All right. We can be done with this messy dauber. Put our lid back on our paints, and we are good to go, friends. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Fairly simple, but definitely a drastic difference from what we had. This will look absolutely adorable in any kind of Americana style. It'll be great for 4th of July. We got Memorial Day coming up. I think patriotic is a lot of people, including myself, decorate patriotic kind of year round. You know, it's great. And I just love the like difference with the colors. This red really just kind of jumped out at me, and it's just that like beautiful barn red. Simple, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna let this sit here and let this completely dry up, and then it's gonna be good to go. All right, y'all, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Thank you ever so much for jumping in and watching. I hope I've inspired you to go find some thrifty finds and make something cool with it, right? I mean, honestly, stuff that I had in my craft room that needed used up anyway, and a 25-cent board, and we have a statement little Americana piece. Perfect. All right, y'all, enjoy the rest of your night. As I always say, I appreciate and love each and every one of you. And what is today? Oh, it's Thursday, of course. It's Thrifty Thursday, April. So we'll be back Friday. No idea what we're going to do, but we're going to do something cool. All right, guys, I will see you soon. All right, take care. Bye.